So, next up on my Steam library, I'm playing No Man's Sky. Now, this is a little different from the rest of the videos I've been doing in this series. All the previous games have been unplayed games that have been sitting in my Steam library for various lengths of time since I bought them when they just showed up on cheap sales. No Man's Sky is a game I have played already, and indeed played it quite a lot when it first came out. I bought it on day one and played about 50 hours worth, and I really enjoyed it. It was, unlike a lot of people, I got the game that I thought it was. You know, I bought the game expecting a single player space exploration experience, and that's exactly what I got, and I wasn't disappointed with it in any way, really. I know a lot of people were expecting other things, and a combination of the game's press and the developer not managing people's expectations led to a lot of claims being made that turned out to be untrue once the game came out. But I got what I thought I was getting out of it, and as a result I really enjoyed it, and like I say, I played about 50 hours worth when it came out. My last save game was the 29th of August 2016, so just over a year since I played it. So I know there's been a lot of updates and a lot more content added. I haven't really been following it, so I thought, a year on, why not check out No Man's Sky again, see how it looks now. So that's what I'm doing, and so far I've put about another 20 something hours into it since I've started again, and I'm having a great time again. So let me show you what is different from the first time I played it. I'll just get out of my ship here. That's my ship at the moment. So if I just quit to this mode select here, when I first loaded up the game, this is new. Before, just had this normal. In fact, you didn't even have that. The game just loaded straight into the actual game. There was no menu screen. And there you see my last save game, 29th of the 8th, 2016. This is what I played before. And in this game, I followed one of the two paths that are laid out for you. I followed the Atlas story path. Played that to its end and was quite satisfied with that. And that's when I finished playing it. That's when I went on to other things. So straight away you're presented with several different modes: the normal, survival, permadeath, and creative. Now it says here what each one is. Survival, more challenging survival experience, limited resources, increased hazards, stronger, more aggressive enemies. Permadeath, same as survival, but with permadeath. If you die, you're done. So you'd have to be very careful with that. And creative is just you get everything given to you when you start, and you can just go mad building and doing whatever you want. So that's a good one. You see that's got a Steam Workshop link to it as well for people who have been creating bases and stuff. So having played through on normal in my last game, the last time I played when it came out, or what is normal now, or what was just the only game mode back then, this time I decided to start playing on survival for a bit of a different game experience. And is it a different game experience? So let's load back in. Straight away you notice you're getting much more punished by the environment. The planet is out to kill you on almost every landing, every planet you land on. The planet wants to kill you. The environmental hazards are almost always present, and you have to plan and think very carefully about how you're going to survive on each planet. You can't just go wandering around willy-nilly without having enough things in your inventory to actually stock yourself up. You'll see now I'm on this planet, I'm getting cold damage. The old cold damage bar is slowly going down. Looking at my inventory, exosuit inventory, the hazard protection bar, yep, is slowly going down, and it can be recharged with some things that I've got. But if you go out on a little expedition and you haven't got enough of these minerals or these shield charges to actually recharge your hazard protection, you find yourself in a lot of trouble very quickly. Now, one way of getting out of that is obviously taking shelter. You can take shelter in your ship. Your levels stabilize and your protection bar starts going up again. You can take shelter in buildings. This is my base, by the way, which is another new feature that wasn't in when I started base building. We'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, take shelter in buildings. You could take shelter in natural caves, which there aren't any around here at the moment, but they could be an absolute lifesaver if you've gone on a little walk looking for new things, and you find yourself caught out. Either a storm might come along, or you'll find you just haven't got the resources to recharge your hazard protection. So down here, get yourself, is this deep enough? Yeah, here we go. That's just deep enough to get out of the environment, out of the hazard, and let it recharge. Now, that's to start with. It becomes a lot easier to do this later when you get access to, if I get out of here, I'll show you. When you get access to the terrain manipulator. Now this little gem can build terrain like so, or it can get rid of it, left click or right click. And now if you find yourself out in a little storm or your environmental protection is running low, you can dig yourself your own little cave. There are several different settings and such, but it has to be deep enough for you to get out of the environment, out of the hazard. There you go. I've actually dug all the way through going up, but ideally you'd angle down all the time and just make yourself a little burrow, a little hole for you to hide out in. Now once you get that, you can be a bit more laissez-faire with how much resources you're carrying around to try and recharge your hazard suit, because digging yourself a hole when your hazard bar gets low is a great way to get out of it. But that's just the one thing about the survival mode that made it much different to normal mode. I mean, it took me quite a while. When the game starts, it starts the same way. You're on the planet with your broken ship, and you've got to repair it, gather the resources to repair it. But that took me quite a while, because you couldn't just wander off. You see, oh, that's an abandoned structure over there, 5 minutes. Now in normal mode, you could just wander off over there, 5 minutes away. You wouldn't have to worry about where there's any shelter or if you've got enough resources to recharge your hazard protection. But in survival mode, you can't do that. You have to worry about, have I got enough? Have I got enough zinc to recharge my hazard protection? Have I got enough Thamium-9 or power cells to recharge my life support? Because that becomes a factor. Your life support normally goes down very slowly. But on survival mode, the more you sprint, you see like the 2 arrows have come up above the life support bar there. See, 1 arrow, 2 arrow. So you sprint in, you use more on your life support power. Jetpacking, you use even more. So sprinting and jetpacking is going to drain that life support a hell of a lot faster than just walking. So you find yourself walking most places, because alright, you're going to be out in the hazard longer, but if you keep sprinting, that life support is going to go down. You're going to have to start recharging that as well, and you can't just dig a hole to get out. Your life support doesn't recharge unless you get to a space station, or unless you actually recharge it with a power cell or some minerals. So I was finding, like, look at the actual times, how far things are away, being very useful. Because you can see that's going to take 5 minutes to get to. Now, have you got 5 minutes? Well, 10 if you're going to come back as well, obviously. 10 minutes. Have you got enough resources for a 10-minute round trip? You've got to ask yourself. Now, this planet I'm on at the moment, you see the hazard's gone now. It's just cold during night time. During the daytime, it's quite nice and pleasant. Now, this is the planet I've been directed to, following one of the new storylines, to build my first base. This is my first base. Just built it. Here it is. Just built a couple of rooms so far, but yep. So the storyline I'm following at the moment is the Awakening storyline. Kind of acts as an extended tutorial, sort of introducing you into a few more of the game's new mechanics, new systems. Bear in mind the previous game, when it was released, had, well, almost no tutorial at all. The first bit you got when your ship, where you go first load in, and tells you how to repair your ship, and then it sends you on your way, and that's pretty much it. And you can follow either the Atlas story path or the Journey to the Galactic Core story path. So this is a new storyline which I've followed so far, and it's quite early on in it really, but the situation I'm at now is where it's just got me to build my first base, and it directed me to this planet. I didn't have to. I got the option to say no, I'll find my own planet to build a base on, or find a base that's already there and take it over, which you can do as well. But I decided to take the game's direction and bring my own base, let them do it. So I've also hired a dude. That's my construction engineer. The game led me to that as well. So that's new. All this space building stuff is new. This is new as well. This is a teleporter. You can teleport between space stations and your base. So any space station that you've been to, you can teleport to, so long as you've teleported back to your base from it. So this is the space station in this system. I could teleport straight to that if I wanted to, because I just teleported back from there to my base. And when you do so, your ship follows you, by magic. Just appears. So the base building is new. What else is new? Well, there's a load more different minerals and stuff that weren't in the game before. There's some new things for your multi-tool, and some new things for your exosuit, new blueprints and technology. There's some new aliens. I mean, a lot of the time when you went into a space station before, let's just teleport to that space station and have a look there, because a lot of the times when you went into a space station in the original, there would be only like one alien in there. Now space stations are sort of populated a bit more. They usually find usually at least 3 aliens in each sort of in the area you go in the space station to trade and that. So here we are. This is where you get teleported to, and this guy's new. This is the mission NPC. All these are new. These weren't in the game before. So you got a ton of missions. Well, not a ton, but a page of missions, varying degrees of simplicity. Some of them you need reputation to actually do, and indeed that's new as well. If we look in here, let's have a look at yeah, here we are. There's a whole new stuff. This whole guide here, this is all new. So this gives you some info on survival, navigation, trading and stand-ins. See, this is all new. All these stand-ins with different factions, all new. this like quest log here. Oh, sorry, not that. That's the journey log. That was kind of already in there. Here we are. These missions and secondary missions. This is the main quest I'll be following, the Awakening storyline. This is where we're at the moment. This was the Atlas storyline, which I'd already followed last time, so I didn't bother going for that this time. And then secondary missions that pop up, either missions you've collected from a mission board or other stuff. You know, when you find a new blueprint, it might say, "Oh, build this," and that'll pop up as a secondary mission. Don't have to, but it will be there just as a reminder. Here's your discoveries. This discovery page has been reworked as well from where it was before. So you always had the discoveries from the game's launch. You can rename your anything you discover, basically. A system, a planet, a moon, the wildlife you find in that planet, the plants you find in that planet, and the locations, the bases you find in that planet, landing points, anything like that. All can be renamed or not, and just uploaded for credits. But the whole page displaying that has all been reworked in a sort of much better fashion, I think. So that's one dude that wasn't there before. This is like this room. Indeed, when I was playing it, you couldn't even get in this room on the left-hand side of your. See, there's my ship. It's just appeared. So when you fly in here with your ship, you'll land in one of these landing spots. Yeah, that side, that left-hand side, you couldn't even get in that room when I was playing it before. So this right-hand side was always where you went to access the trading terminal. And there'd always be one alien sitting in here, but you know, this place has got a couple. This is where I came to recruit these dudes. So. And there's the Galactic Trade Terminal. If you have a look, there's a whole lot more stuff in there. Maybe not this one, because this trading system's not so good. Declining. So not a lot for sale here, but there's a lot more items now in the game. You know, there was all the minerals and things that were there before, but there's a fair bit more stuff. And this guy. This is the blueprint trader. Now, finding blueprints originally was a bit of a pain because you had to find certain outposts where you had to finish a little puzzle and kind of you got rewarded with one, or you might get rewarded with one by interacting with an alien and doing what they wanted you to do and get out of the blueprint. Now, at least here, I've introduced this guy, and there's actually blueprints for sale. The currency they use is nanite clusters, which is a new currency, and some of these are reputation gated as well. But at least there's some blueprints there available to buy, so you're not relying just completely on a random chance of getting one from an interaction or a random sort of outpost that you find out in the wild. Those nanite clusters, they're a new currency as well. You've been getting, I've been getting them from just you know, finding them in machines and things. But they're that's what you use for them. So yeah, all in all, quite a lot of new stuff. I mean, a great deal of new stuff really. And the survival mode is, you know, is a big difference to the gameplay. The permadeath mode as well would be really challenging. How far can you get without dying? Now, I haven't died for a while, but I did die within the first couple of hours of playing it in survival mode, because I kind of just played it like I was playing it in normal mode. And when I found the mineral deposit I had to get the minerals in order to build something to repair the ship, it was like 4 minutes away from where I was, and I was on, like, you know, a toxic planet, and I just merrily started walking away up there, or sprinting away actually, because I hadn't quite realised that sprinting all the time was not a good idea. So off I went, and I very soon found out that I didn't have anywhere near enough resources to maintain my life support or hazard protection to get there and back, and I turned round to come back and died on the way. But now, I haven't died since then. I've been pretty careful since then. So I think, you know, maybe if you played it on permadeath mode, knowing what you were getting into, you could probably do alright. But any shit can still happen. Even after you've played it on survival, knowing what you have to do, knowing how much care you have to take, you could still find you can still get caught up because the game will throw a curveball at you still every now and then. So yeah, this is the base can be obviously built up a lot more. There we go, night time now, so it's cold when you go outside. Thermal protection active. But other than that, it's still the same procedurally generated universe, still the same mad, crazy wildlife, still the same system of, you know, scanning your wildlife, scanning your minerals and your plants. Whoa, what was that I just had? That cactus. Yeah, scanning them, getting money, and then uploading them for discoveries. Oh, there's a little cave I made before. Cave's more of a tunnel now. But if I wanted to, I could use the terrain deformation to fill that in as well. Now, the reason you can do this, you can do it with your base as well. You can make your base build underground. Like you could tunnel some of this out and actually build structures underneath. So you've got a lot of options as far as the base building goes, and that's why I think the Steam Workshop link is there, because you can upload your base to the Steam Workshop and indeed check out other people's bases on Steam, on the Steam Workshop. So I'm really enjoying it again, and I'd suggest if you played No Man's Sky, I was going to say Star Citizen then, but that's still vaporware at the moment. If you played No Man's Sky when it came out and either didn't like it or, you know, just finished what you were doing, I'd say come back to it. And if you haven't played it at all, well, there's never a better time now. There's a load more stuff in it than when it was out. It's a lot easier, I think, to get into playing it in normal mode. I think the game shows you a lot more of its systems and its mechanics, and gives you a lot more to do, because when it first came out it really was just up to you. It was a real freeform exploration game, and that wasn't for everyone. You know, people, you know, well, they want missions, they want standings and reputation to go up with, and you know, not everyone likes just a universe where you're just thrown out into it and told, you know, make your own story. So I'm really enjoying it. I think it's well worth going back to now after 1 year. I'm really glad that I've given it another go, and I think I'm going to be putting probably at least another 50 hours into it before I'm you know, finished with another chunk of play. So yeah, No Man's Sky, 1 year on. Really like it. Really think it's improved the game a lot, but bear in mind, I really liked it when it came out anyway, so take that for what it's worth.